Welcome back, everyone, for episode 2 of Searching for the Lost, our Zombieland Fortress playthrough. As a reminder, at the end of last episode, we had Granny on a mental break and Green down because of a Timberwolf attack. We still have 2 days and some hours until the zombies arrive, and we might not have the defenses set up by then, but we're doing pretty good, I think. We're going to be using our beekeeping workbenches to make sure to make some honey meals. Colonists love honey meals, so we're definitely going to want to be cooking those. And we also need to make sure we extract from hives. The extraction from hives is going to be necessary to get our starting bees. We also want to make sure that we are extracting from all combs. And I'm going to set that to do forever. Our wind turbine is built, but it's not yet working due to some trees, so I'm making sure that LK cuts the trees. I'm also queuing up some hunting. Looks like the alpaca, tortoise, raccoons, those are all safe to hunt, and some of them are bigger than others, but now that we do have the freezer space, I'd like to stockpile a little bit of meat. Green is up and about again. That's very nice to see. And helping with stone cutting. Awesome. We need to do some stone cutting. Let's also make sure we put a light into our refrigerator space. One of our first events, Mad Rat. We took out a Timberwolf in the last episode. I think we can handle this rat. Let's go ahead and bring out some folks to attack the rat. Don't want to be caught unaware, even if it's just a rat. Have some folks that are doing some hunting. I don't think we need more than 2 colonists. Honestly, 1 would probably suffice for the rat, but I'm bringing out 2 just in case. Perfect. Already got it. New lovers? What's this? Cav charmed LK by commending her open-mindedness. LK responded well and is now Cav's lover. We're gonna need to build a double bed. I'm gonna do so with bone. Since it looks like you'll be here for a while, Emor thinks you should give your faction a name. What should your faction be called? We're going to call it Searching for the Lost. Emor also thinks that you should give the settlement a name. What should the settlement be called? Let's call the settlement Zombieland Fortress. Right now, it's not much of a fortress, but I am hoping that it will be someday. We are playing with LWN Steep Storage. Love this mod. We're going to build a meal rack. We're also going to build some tall shelves in our storage room. We can do those with wood, but they do require some steel as well since they are taller. And we have a bee storage shelf. Go ahead and make sure to queue up the meals for the meal rack. That'll help with our tiny little fridge that I've designated here. We also probably want some food baskets for the raw meat and vegetables. Let's queue those along the walls. Two hours until zombies come. Okay. I'm going to make sure that home zone is being set. Since I do this manually, I have to keep an eye on it. All these walls that we've queued up, let's set those for home zone. Even if they're not built yet, it's a good idea to do it now so we don't forget about it. We finally have nice marble floors in our bedroom, and we get raided. Okay, as expected, it's our first raid, so it is 1 fighter. And they're going to prepare for a while before they attack. As some time passes by, and now they're beginning their assault, I'm going to bring out all of our fighters into position. We did finish the wall on the left lower side of the base, so let's bring out all of our shooters. Over to the right side. Something like this. Get them into position. And let's get Granny right along the wall as our 1 melee fighter. As a reminder, Green is wielding a melee weapon, but is not really be a fighter. Double checking that my animals have a safety zone, even though it's probably not going to be necessary for this battle. I'd like to make sure that they are safe in the future when we have raids. This should just be an indoor zone that allows them access to the storage room where the hay and kibble are located. Eventually, I'd love to make some kind of barn, but for now, this'll do. Given our numbers, it was a very easy fight. We took them out without issue. Power situation is a little difficult without batteries, so I am queuing up some power conduits on the ground to toggle our turrets on and off. Also checking temperatures. And there it is, our first ever zombie attack. Looks like they're forming on the right side of the map. 31 zombies. That's pretty good for the first one. Can't select the zombies, but it does tell you on the right-hand side how many of them there are. I'm going to bring out only shooters. Melee in a zombie fight is not really the best. Let's just line them up down here. As soon as they get out there, they start triggering some of the zombies. The zombies have an agitated state where they are excited about eating brains and run faster. But it doesn't really happen unless you get in a little bit closer to them. Given our numbers, we're doing pretty well taking them out before they approach us. It will get harder as there are more and more zombies on the map. This is just like shooting practice. Our colonists are getting a little bit better at their shooting skills. Taking out all the zombies with ease. For some reason, green is coming out, and so is our animals, so I think I need to double check my priorities. With the emergency alert mode, they should be stuck in the home zone. This is the issue. So under Better Pond Management, I want Policy 1 under Schedule and Animals to be the designated policy for the emergency alert mode. Now it should work better. The zombie corpses are disappearing, but we are taking them out. Doing a pretty good job. We're down to 4 zombies left. Unfortunately, they're not going to get any zombie extract this time, but that's okay. Granny wants to come out to get some, but isn't able to make it out in time. Friends got food poisoning from simple meal. Incompetent cook. Interesting. We don't really have anyone incompetent cooking. I don't know. That's strange. That's very strange. Let's go ahead and continue hunting. Hunt all the alpaca, the turkey. We've harvested some of our first rice. That's great. And we do have bees in one of them, but not both of them. I'm going to make sure that they are both filled with bees. Lastly, I'm going to make sure that someone is working on our graves. We have a headless corpse sitting next to our base right now from our first raider. And I think it's a good move to queue up some extra graves for the future. We've made some meals. We're starting a little bit of a stockpile of food. These are good signs for sure. Moods are not the best. The fine meals will help, but I'm going to go ahead and expand, especially if we need fine meals to deal with moods. We're going to want to expand both our tea and our crop fields. This is heel root. We're going to make sure we're growing a lot of heel root. At least get one really big batch of heel root harvested before we consider replacing that with something else. The food poisoning is a little rough because people are throwing up throughout the base, which then makes the base uglier and then makes people even more sad. I'm gonna go ahead and trigger off our turrets until we need them. That'll help with our power situation for sure. We are also working on training our animals. And it looks like Granny is probably our best candidate for doing research. Let's make sure that Granny is a dedicated level 1 researcher, but is also set to do drug production first. Let's make sure our crafters are set to craft first and foremost. I think that's a good idea. And then we're going to set Emor and Green to fall back on researching after crafting tasks are done. Harvest all the wild heel root. Some of our walls are starting to get made. That's great. Let's also harvest some berry bushes. Just some extra food stores. Be nice. Area revealed. Oh, okay. Just from deconstructing some of the ancient structures. Not a big deal. Nothing there. We have a lot of granite that we've made, so they will keep working on walls. I want to build our outer walls before I change our base walls to stone. But we have finished researching batteries, so let's build some of those. A little bit of a risk having batteries inside this wooden base, but it's a risk I'm willing to take for now. It's like I said, I'd like to build those outer walls with stone first before we start focusing the stone on the inner base. Got some berries that we can have hauled in. Apples as well. Awesome. I'm gonna force Green to do some cleaning. It's just been really messy with all the food poisoning. And, oh no. Okay, propose a lifelong commitment to Cav, and Cav rejected the proposal. Cav is not ready yet. My proposal was rejected, minus 20. Oof. That is quite rough. We're going to do a little manual hunting. By that I mean we're going to do drafted hunting. Bringing out some of our shooters as well as Granny just in case we get into melee range. Let's have the shooters attack the Mega Sloth first. Granny is there if needed. Okay, Mega Sloth revenges as is to be expected. Mega Sloth's getting a little bit close, though I do have Granny there. I'd rather not use a melee person in this fight, so let's bring him back just a little bit for a second. Okay. Perfect. We got him out before getting into melee range. Love that. And Emor is going to bring it in right away. Perfect. Up next for research, we're going to go for the solar panels. Now that we have batteries, I feel a little bit more confident having our turrets on. And it looks like it's time to shrink our heal root zone just a little bit. I think I'm going to use this zone to plant some cloth. Just a small zone for cloth. Granny and Green doing a bunch of research. We got Emor and Cav working on walls. Let's harvest some more wild heal root. When we get to it. And since we saw the pathing from our first raider, I think it's a good idea. I was going to do spike traps, but we have bear traps. So let's go ahead and put some bear traps in along this wall here. We're going to use this as our entrance for raiders. Bear traps are nicer than spike traps because instead of having to reuse resources over and over again, you can just reset the trap. Just like a spike trap, there is risk if your colonists are walking over it, though. Should be noted. Let's haul in all of our herbal medicine and crops urgently. And let's think about an art bench. Help make their bedroom even better, right? Yes, bring in some of that rice, please. Okay's mood is a little bit rough because of that rejected proposal, but I think they will be okay in time. They didn't break up. They just jumped the gun on the proposal. So maybe eventually they'll get married. One thing I like to do is I like to designate that trees be cut from where you're building the walls. One of the reasons for doing this is a planter will go out to cut them instead of your constructors having to cut all of them. Constructors may not be good at plant cutting and then will take a really long time. So if you designate those plants for cutting, someone else with a higher planting skill, like LK, will do it. That's it for episode 2 of Searching for the Lost, our Zombieland Fortress playthrough. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you did, and stay tuned for more. See you next time.